When you're looking at NFTs and projects that are coming out, you're going to be looking at a lot of roadmaps. Now, I've seen a lot of roadmaps, and here are some roadmaps that I would steer clear from. First up, I want to say if you could hit up that like button, it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, down the bottom there are chapters so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to help you navigate the video easier. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before jumping into the NFT space. Now, what I will say is that these are generalizations and these aren't hard and fast rules. So please do your own research and kind of read between the lines when you are looking at these roadmaps. But these are good ideas of what to kind of look out for and steer clear from, so you can kind of get an idea of what the project may actually be doing in the future and kind of seeing if they do intend to actually fulfill their plan and not just line their own pockets. The first thing about the roadmaps is you've got two kinds of roadmaps. You've got percentage-based roadmaps and you've got time-based roadmaps. Now look, Crypto Gorilla, I'll link his channel up here. You should go sub to him. He's got some great NFT YouTube videos, and he's a great sort of guy in the space to kind of get some information from. He is a big fan of the time-based roadmaps and not the percentage-based roadmaps. And the reason that he's a big fan of that, and it's kind of rubbed off onto me, is the fact that with a time-based roadmap, they are executing no matter what the sales are at. So they want to execute the plan. The reason that a time-based roadmap is sort of better than a percentage-based roadmap is the fact that with a time-based roadmap, they plan to execute what's in their roadmap irrespective of how many people are in the project. Now, when it comes down to a percentage-based roadmap, the people that are running the project, they want to sell out. So they might not execute part of their plan until they're 25% sold or 50% sold or 100% sold. So what this means out of a 10,000 item project is you could be owner number 3,500, but they're not executing part of their roadmap until they get to 50% sales. So what this means is that you could have bought into the project with 3,500 other people, and you're waiting for the kind of the trigger to hit for them to start executing the roadmap, which is bad because it doesn't reward the people that have actually been in early. So that's why a percentage-based roadmap isn't necessarily good, especially in this current climate. I've actually got a video up here in why I think that the profile picture project and a lot of projects aren't selling out, which is the supply-demand ratio. So the thing is, with percentage-based roadmaps right now, it's very difficult to kind of get a project to sell out, which then means that you may be left waiting for a roadmap to execute when sales aren't ever going to come through. And that's why a time-based roadmap is good. With a time-based roadmap, it doesn't matter if there's only 2,500 people that are bought in or the project's sold out. The project is going to continue. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they will follow through with it, but with a time-based roadmap, you then have a hard date and you've got a way to kind of gauge on if you want to be in this project and when it will follow through. Now, where a percentage-based roadmap is kind of essential is for some projects that need to raise a bit of capital. So if there is going to be a piece of utility that's built, a software that's built, if there's something that needs to be built around it and needs to be funded, then it makes sense for it to happen at 25, 50, 75, or 100% of the sales, because the project needs the money to actually execute and fulfill those needs of the project and what is laid out. So this is where you'll need to kind of read between the lines. If it is a matter of giving away a Bored Ape when it comes down to being 75% sold, that doesn't really need to make sense because they could be giving away that Bored Ape at any point. But if they're developing a new sort of rarity sniffing tool that can kind of snipe some prices when like something hits OpenSea, then you might think that needs to be funded, and that will then make sense when you do get to a roadmap that is percentage based. But saying that, I think the best approach is when there is a blended approach. When a project has a time-based roadmap that they're executing on particular dates, but then also a percentage-based roadmap where they're actually executing extras and features when they get to percentages sold. What this means is it means that they're going to be moving the project forward, and this means that they're also going to be gaining momentum because the people in the project will see that the dates are ticking over and the roadmap's moving forward. And then the percentage-based one is just like added extras and features. So you can imagine that a really good roadmap would have kind of time-based aspects when it comes to a collaborative collection or upgrades or sort of breeding, staking, things like that. But then a percentage-based roadmap where it comes down to 25% sold, giving away a Bored Ape, 50% sold, giving away 10 ETH in a lottery, like that kind of thing, where the percentage base is an add-on and just a little bit of fun and extra to give back to the community, but they have a clear, thought out plan when it comes to the time-based roadmap. Now, the other thing to look out for when it comes to roadmaps is giveaways. Now, I'm not saying giveaways are bad, but when the giveaway is the main draw card to the project, you're essentially turning the project into a lottery, which isn't good for the strength and the long-term future of the project. Now, what I mean is that there are a lot of projects now that are kind of giving away a Lambo, giving away a Tesla. They're giving away something of really high value, and that is what they're giving away. Now, what happens is they go, hey, we're giving away a Lambo, and they either give away the Lambo or they give the ETH away. They're not actually giving away the Lambo, they're just going to be giving away the ETH, because no one's really going to be buying the Lambo and shipping it to that person. They're going to be giving the ETH equivalent. Now, the reason that I say that this doesn't kind of bode well for the strength of a very long-term project is the idea that it's going to be drawing in very new people into the space going, hey, these people are giving away a Lambo. People pile in thinking that they're going to be getting a Lambo, because essentially it's turned what should be a project that has some utility, or it's all about the art, or it's about something else, it's turned into a lottery item and a lottery aspect, which essentially means you've got one ticket out of 10,000 tickets to get that item. Now, the other reason that the giveaway might not be good when they're giving away something bigger like a Lambo or a Tesla or something is the fact that the winner of it could be a friend or affiliate of the project owner. So what they can do is get everyone in saying that they're giving away a Lambo, everyone piles in, buys out the project then sells out sort of $2 million worth of project. They then give the Lambo to someone, and the Lambo is actually predetermined to give them to their friend, who then gets the ETH and they then split it. Now, one caveat to this is if they're going to be using something like Chainlink VRF. Now, Chainlink VRF, it gives a random number for a project, so you can kind of give a giveaway, but it is actually random. Now, projects that are doing giveaways, and this is what I'm a big fan of, they are actually using Chainlink, putting it into their smart contract, and then using it to actually kind of ensure that the giveaway is fair. So if there is a giveaway and you kind of go, hey, this could be skeptical, it could be some kind of rug, but then they are promoting the fact that they are going to be doing the giveaway using Chainlink VRF, then you kind of go, okay, they want to actually be fair when it is the giveaway, and they're going to be doing a live stream with Chainlink, then it kind of flips that over and you can tell that they're actually giving it away. So like I said at the start of the video, this isn't a hard and fast rule about what you should and shouldn't invest in when it comes down to the roadmap, but these are just tools and ways that you can kind of like read between the lines and see if the project is authentic and wanting to give back to the community, or if they're just trying to line their own pockets. Now, another aspect about roadmaps that I'm not too much of a fan of is the charity giveaway. Now, I will have to clarify this. What I mean by a charity giveaway is that it's very easy for a project to just literally copy and paste someone else's roadmap and just change charity giveaway or giving away to a charity, then let the community decide where that money is going to. When it comes down to the charity giveaway, if what they're giving away is congruent and lines up with what their overall roadmap and plan and ideal is with the project, then it seems to make sense. If someone's making a profile picture project of penguins, then the roadmap doesn't have too much detail about what they're doing, but then it just says that we're going to donate some money to saving the penguins. That kind of thing to me is a red flag, because it shows that they're just going, hey, let's do it on penguins. Let's make up some traits. How can we kind of make it seem like we're giving back? Let's hide behind the facade of giving back to the penguins and then just put that in there. Whereas a good option for it is if it seems like they already have links to that charity or that organization, or that is well thought out and planned. And it's not just giving away some money to charity, but it's like, we will donate $10,000 per month to this charity to support the penguins by doing XYZ, then it kind of makes sense, where it seems like they've actually thought out what it is. Because for these projects, it's very easy to spin something up and just say give away to charity, and we're based around saving the animal that the project is based off. It's very easy for them to do that. So that is why I'm not too much of a fan of a charity giveaway. If I see that, that is something that I kind of glaze over and pass over, because in the beginning when these projects were blowing up, that made sense. It was quite good. But the projects are starting to adapt very fast in this current climate, in this current space. And what they're doing is they're seeing what people are buying into and then just adapting into it. So that's why I would be very cautious about just a very generic, bland charity statement. And if you are interested in the project, dive in and ask them questions about what charity, where's it going to, and don't make it the project putting it onto the community to decide. They should have an aspect when it comes down to it, because if they haven't thought about where they actually want to be donating money to or how it's actually going to help the end result or the end cause, then they're just trying to hide behind that as a narrative. Now, this next one is staking. Now, this is going to be a very controversial one. I'm a big fan of getting a project and staking a project to get tokens. But what I'm saying with this one is be very careful when it comes down to staking and see if it actually makes sense with what they actually want to do. Now, I will clarify this by saying that if a project is saying that they're going to be doing some staking to get tokens, but they don't tell you what you can do or what their future plan is with the tokens, then that will be an issue. If the idea that they plan to incorporate a token to then use within a marketplace of their own, like their own ecosystem, to then buy NFTs, buy merch, or kind of do something like that, then that makes sense to have that token. Because like I said, it is very easy for projects to literally have a project and go, what are people hyped on now? People are hyped on staking. We'll just throw a line, staking. Then people will kind of flood into it thinking that it could be the next Cyberkongs or Kaiju Kings, when it should actually be well thought out about how you can actually stake and generate tokens. So a good example of this is that if you do have a project and they offer staking, what do you do with the tokens? Where are the tokens going to be held? Will you be able to sell them on the secondary market? How does that token play into the ecosystem itself? One good way that I could see this is that if you can get the token to then use internally to buy merch with that token, that's great. If you could use that token to then buy upgrades for your NFT, then that's great. If you could then use it to buy future NFTs or buy mint passes, then that's great. As long as it's within this ecosystem and it's well thought out and it looks like they've got a plan for it, that's great. If it just says token and staking, then that is something I would kind of investigate more and make sure you're just not FOMOing in because you want to miss out on the next passive income investment, which then comes down to the second aspect. If the idea of staking comes down to, on their marketing material, comes down to lots of passive income and earn passive income, it's the same thing. They're looking at what people are investing in and what people want to do to try to get the most money out of the people looking at the project. And if they're throwing around words like sort of staking, but alongside passive income, then that may be a red flag because they know that they're trying to prey on people trying to get easy, fast gains. When it comes down to passive income, where is the money coming from? So if they're saying that you earn passive income, what do you actually get with it? How do the mechanics of it work? Is it secondary sales which come through for the passive income? Are they using the tokens to then buy something to then flip to then kind of go back through to the community? Just look past the word passive income or staking when it comes down to it. Another aspect when it comes down to red flags within a roadmap is the term marketing. Now, if someone has in their roadmap, we're going to increase marketing and we're going to get marketing exposure and we're kind of going to do all these things, that is a red flag to me because from the outset, it might make sense that you want the project to kind of keep going and continue to kind of build hype once the project's over and done with. But the aspect that I find quite hard about the marketing aspect is that's another thing to kind of just suck people into a project beforehand, because it is very easy to say, hey, we're going to be increasing marketing. They just take $20,000, they just put up some billboards, they run some ads, they easily do something like that. That isn't very hard, it isn't very well thought out. Now, I'm not saying that I'm against this. I think that there should be some effort put in place. When it comes down to marketing, if they're kind of saying that they're going to be expanding their development team, they're going to be expanding their marketing team in terms of Discord, they're going to be kind of building out an online portal and like a website community space, then that makes sense. But when it comes down to marketing and the idea behind the words marketing is just try to build awareness and hype, then that is a red flag in my eyes, because I don't believe that a project, after it's sold out, needs to continue to build that hype in that way and that sense. That should be the pre-awareness marketing when it comes down to the project. Because when it comes down to it, they should be the ones that are investing a lot in the beginning in the marketing and branding campaign to draw you into the project. It shouldn't be you funding them to then make them more money. It should be them trying to spend the money to convince you that the project is worth coming into. And one of the last aspects when it comes down to roadmaps and kind of red flags is the idea of developing a game and kind of building out a game after the fact. The reason that this can be a red flag is this is an easy throwaway term. People believe that if they can sell out their project, they can have $2 million, they can then throw away $500,000 to kind of develop a game to kind of hold up that end of the roadmap if the people don't actually have devs involved. If the project says that they're going to be developing a game, but the team actually has people that have completed games, or there is something you could play, or they've got mock-ups, they've got something to actually show that they're actually executing that, then that's good. Because when it comes down to it, if they're going to build the game once they're 100% sold or 50% sold, they're planning to build it, but they don't have the resources or the skills to actually do it now. Because I believe that if a project is actually going to be game-based and they're not just throwing that out there to try to get you to buy into the project, they will be developing the game and the concept and the mechanics of it well before they even get to a public sale, because the public sale is almost the culmination of it when they're about to kind of release the game or like inject those characters into the game. It shouldn't be the starting point for it. And currently right now, anything that has gaming involved when it comes down to NFTs are super hot, and all of the scammers out there know that that's what people are looking for, so they can inject that into their roadmap and say that they're going to do it once they're finished, but not actually hold up their end of the bargain and execute when it comes down to it, because after it's fully done and completed, they can just run off with your money and do a rug pull. So to wrap this video up, the reason that I wanted to kind of lay out some of these aspects when it comes down to roadmaps and what you should be looking out for when it comes down to the roadmaps is the fact that there are a lot of scammers out there. There are people out there trying to do rug pulls, and what they're doing is they're looking at the most successful projects and cherry picking the items that people actually look for when it comes down to investing into a project. And if they know that they can say, we have a token where you can stake, they say that they can be donating to charity, and they say that they're going to turn it into the biggest blockchain game ever, they think that they're ticking all the boxes, and it's going to suck some new people in, because when new people come into the space, they're going to look at this and be like, oh, it's got staking, which is very close to Cyberkongs, which has a really high floor. Oh, that's great. Oh, this other project did a giveaway and they've blown up. Oh, they're doing a game and this could be the next Axie Infinity. I'm going to just load in, I'm going to buy up 10 or 20. I'm just going to really get in on this project because it's going to be the next big thing. The scammers understand this. They understand the mentality of what people are buying into, and they're adapting very, very quick. So please be careful when you are looking at these roadmaps and see if the detail is there and it's well thought out. If it doesn't feel right, jump into their Discord and ask these questions. If you get blocked or banned or deleted from the Discord, then you should back away from the project, because any great team or great developer would love to share what they're doing. So overall, I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and also hit up that like button. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Overall, it's been a pleasure having you with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.